remember a lot of stuff that affected me emotionally. I have an older brother above me, 3.5 years. Then I have a sister older than him. I think she's like 7 years away from me. And then my oldest brother is 11 years away from me. 11 or 12 years away from me, right? The one that was started his own hood, right? And Santa Ana was real dominant with the gang culture. It was real active. It was almost a gang on every street. And it was a lot of gang members, like a lot. I mean, while you driving around, that's all you would see.
Easter Sunday brought sunshine and a ray of hope to Santa Ana. Once again, as has become the recent custom on Saturdays, rival gangs were peacefully coexisting. And area residents, for one, are encouraged.
You've got neighborhoods playing handball against each other, playing basketball, organizing picnics. You know, you've never seen that before prior to these meetings, so I think they're doing a lot of good.
What makes this effort different, perhaps, is that it's come from within, mostly from within the gangs themselves.
I mean, it's for the best. Because I don't want something to happen to my young girl. A drive-by shooter so that she gets shot. No, that's what we're making. That's what we're putting a stop to all this.
It's an uneasy piece so far. Not much conversation exchange from bench to bench as groups stick together. Neighbors say the gangs are at least thinking positively, and given the random nature of the violence, there's a lot at stake for everyone.
And we've got a lot of concerned adults, concerned families that are tired of this. And it's just we're all finally getting together, and it seems to be working.
From El Salvador Park in Santa Ana, Pete Weitzner, Orange County News Channel.
Shots rang out in a peaceful Santa Ana neighborhood, leaving one man wounded over the weekend, and gang activity is suspected. Despite an announcement by the Santa Ana Police Department that gang activity has decreased dramatically over the past year, daily occurrences of gang crime continue to fill pages of police reports.
We've reported that we've experienced somewhere between a 35 and 40% decrease in serious gang activity from April to this date. And those are good figures. We have experienced some recent flare-up, but that's not uncommon. You can't keep the lid totally on a problem of this magnitude.
I was 4 years old, right? 4 years old. My brothers and sisters, they'll go to school. I remember when you was young, I have a little brother too, you're younger than me. And when you wanted to go outside and play in the 80s, late 80s, even in the 90s, you have to wait for your siblings, your older siblings. That's the one that would really watch you when you're outside playing. And then your parents would occasionally peek outside. See, nowadays you gotta be outside if you let your kids play outside. But back in the days, man, you just gotta, just peek outside, or when they call your name, you better be in a radius to respond. I asked my mom, hey, can I go outside and ride a bike? And it was before my brothers and sisters got out of school. She was like washing clothes and cooking and stuff, getting ready for them, my siblings to come out of school. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. You can ride a bike for a little bit. And me, at that age, I didn't want to ride my bike. I wanted to ride my brother's bike, the one that's 3.5 years older than me. Because to me, his bike was more cool. It was more, it was more adult. Where we lived at, more in the far back of the community, and the grass was like a diamond, right? Diamond, and outside the diamond, it's the sidewalk. And most of the time, the kids would just play around in the sidewalk, and then if they want to play baseball, we played in that little grass. We played in that big old grass area, depending on this side or that side. Then we had a little playground. But most of the time, the kids would do water balloons, because we had laundry mats on the property, like laundry stations. And we used to fill up our water balloons inside the laundry thing and then go throw them at each other, right? Fly kites. Kites would get caught in the palm tree. It was a heavy-set boy named Ricky that he was the only one that was brave enough to climb all the way to the top of the palm tree and get the kites. That was crazy. And he was heavy set too. Yeah, man, so it was a bunch of kids on the property. But this day, it was just me outside. My little brother was inside, and I rode the bike probably twice, 3 times around this diamond. in front of our house, right? We had a screen gate. The door was open, you know, the blinds was open, and the curtain was moved so, you know, she could just look and see me. But out of nowhere, while I'm riding, this older teenager, he had to be, I don't know, but his appearance, he looked from age 16 to 19. He could have been 16 to 19, that age bracket. You know, as a Mexican person. But, you know, at that time, it was a lot of, you know, it was a lot of immigrants coming in illegally. So I could tell he didn't speak English that good, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a child. I noticed it. He didn't speak English that good. And he just jumped in front of my bike and grabbed both handlebars. You feel me? Stopped me in my tracks. And threw me off. He grabbed both of them and threw me off the bike. Just tilted over real fast, and I went on the grass. And I was rolling, right? I jumped up, and I saw this fool jumping on my bike. So I'm over here trying to push him off, and he pushing me. He's still pushing me back. And I can't overpower him. You know, this dude had his hat backwards. You know, he had this little mohawk. You know, they had this, you know, not a mohawk. What was that? It was, I forget that style of hair. When they grow the backside, mullet. And they have the other hair, right? But this one hair is shorter and the backside is longer. It's a mullet. So him and his mullet threw me off the bike. So he jumped on the bike, right? And, you know, I could have ran and told my mom, but, you know, a child at that age, you know, that wasn't a good threat. You feel me? That wasn't gangster enough for me, you know, as a threat. All right, batteries changed and we are back on the scene. I could have ran and told my mom, you know, but that wouldn't be as hard as making a threat to this fool. So I just did what any child would do. I pointed my finger dead at him. Check my cameras real quick. So that's the thing when you're an adult. You have to check your cameras, man. Because nobody, that's if you got some cameras, because ain't nobody gonna protect you and your family except you. Bam. So I pointed my finger at this buster, and I told him straight up, I'm telling my brother. I am telling my brother. I said, ooh. You know, this is the thing. My brother, my oldest brother, has been missing for a while now at this time period. I don't know where he was at. I just know he hasn't been coming to the house or haven't been around. The reason being is because he was acting a dang fool. He was acting up. He was tearing it up. He was tearing it up like paper. He was just, I guess, I don't know what it was, man. He was just real active at that time. And he was putting people in their place. He was putting people out their place. And he was doing a lot of stuff in a lot of places, right? And my mom said, you know what, maybe you need to be around more family, right? Bam, so she sent him back east, Illinois. And he was up in Illinois, whooping behind. So I'm walking to the house, right? I know my brother, ain't nobody home. What I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go in the house and fake the funk. I'm just gonna tell my mom, right? But I sold a good story. I sold it so good that this dude didn't even peel off. He stopped and he was watching me while I was walking to the house. And he wanted to see what house is this boy going to. Once he saw what door I was going to, I swear to God, this dude was right beside me with the bike in hand. He was apologizing and trying to give me the bike. At this time, I knew I had him. I was milking it too. I was like, no, I don't want the bike. I'm gonna tell my brother and he's gonna murder you. No, I didn't tell him that part. I said, I'm gonna go tell my brother. He didn't speak English that good. He was calling me Nino. He's like, oh, Nino. I remember that part. He kept saying Nino, right? And he was like, he was trying to give me the bike. He kept like trying to give the bike to me. I didn't get that close to the house. I was like halfway towards the house, right? No, that's what happened first. I was walking towards the house, halfway there. I turned around, looked at him. I gave this like evil ass kid look, right? Like, oh, you're gonna get it. I gave him this evil look, like, you know, something like essays be giving me when I was a youngster, OG SAU. But I gave him this evil look, right? And that's when he was right beside me, because he knew where I was going. And he was apologizing. He was trying to give me that bike. And next thing I know, I was just denying it. And then all I knew is he got out of my peripheral and I heard the bike fall. And when the bike fell, it made me turn around. And when I turned around, he was gone. He was running so fast, he left his shadow behind. He was kicking his own ass, right? He was dusting it. He was gone, right? You should have heard the sound of the run. It was crazy. And I grabbed the bike, ran in the house. I didn't tell my mom. Put the bike back in the backyard, and I looked out the front window, right? And that right there let me know, this gangster stuff, it creates a fear. It's a respect. My brother wasn't even in the house. He wasn't even nowhere to be found. He wasn't even around here. He was in states, a couple of states over there. And this dude was so scared because of the reputation and the respect and how the way these G's get down. And they was just only teenagers. They was youngsters. That this fool, about to steal my bike, gave it back immediately. Now that right there was an impression that introduced me to this gangsterism. See, other cities like LA County, right? People get turned on to it fighting their own race. At this time, I'm in an area where, our race is getting attacked. Whether you was Polynesian, Vietnam, Asian, or African American, right? You get an attack, right? Even Latinos getting attacked, but but you are just targeted because of your race and you're being attacked. Unless you bow down and accept and try to embrace their culture and change the way you are to try to be more like them. That's the only way they're going to embrace you for a little bit. This those dudes that you're dealing with. But the other dudes that don't know you, they still don't want to deal with you, right? They still got a hatred towards you. And it's stemming from nowhere. So that's why I got introduced to it, right? And it was a standard. It was basically what I was taught. Because I've been around a lot of different hoods and a lot of different OGs. I used to sit around OGs and just look at them and listen, right? And just peep their style. And even even big, even G homies, like not even from my hood, they just from different hoods. It's just like how they get down if it was gangster. And I could tell it was real because I saw the real in my household. I could identify who was really a G and who wasn't, right? Just by certain behaviors, straight up. And, just by off those behaviors, it was a standard. It was boundaries in place, what you wasn't going to allow and what you would allow, what you're not going to do and what you could do. And that's for people on the outside, what they could do and what you will allow and what you won't allow. And one thing, those around me up in Orange County and my brother, they wasn't gonna allow, also the Asians that I ran with, they wasn't gonna allow you being racist towards our people.